Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to a 9 a.m. session the morning after Dreamfest. Why don't you give yourself a round of applause? Woo. Truly, thank you so much. So today, we're going to show you how Trailhead is transforming its login and sign-up experience using Salesforce Identity. We have an amazing demo planned, so please stick around. And these are new features that have not been released yet, so we would love your feedback at the end of the session to ensure we've exceeded your expectations. So I'm Matt Berenberg, and this is Rafael Cabiza, and we are Identity Product Managers here at Salesforce. And today, we're going to show you the new Trailhead login experience. We're also going to show you why we're making these changes and the tooling that we're using to do so. So let's get started with our beloved forward-looking statement. These are brand new features that have not been released yet, so please make your purchasing decisions based off of what is currently available. Now, everyone, I'd like you to meet Samantha. Samantha is a new sales associate that just started at Acme Corp. And like many of you, Acme Corp is a Salesforce customer. Samantha has never used Salesforce before, so her new manager recommended that she give Trailhead a try to get started. Her manager also asked that she sign up for Trailhead using her Acme Corp's Salesforce org so that her Trailhead information is available on Acme Corp's profile, and she could monitor Samantha's learning and recommend new learning opportunities. So let's put ourselves in Samantha's shoes for a moment as she starts her first day of work. She logs into Salesforce, and she really doesn't know what to do next. Again, she's never used Salesforce before. So she decides to take her manager's advice and go to Trailhead. Now, she's never been to Trailhead before, so she does what most of us would do, and she Googles it. And there we go. Now, she's a new user of Trailhead, so she clicks Sign Up, and she clicks Sign Up with Salesforce as her manager had requested. She enters her username and her password, and she approves Salesforce's access to her basic information, and is presented with this sign-up page. So she enters her phone number, and her company, her title, her role, relationship to Salesforce, her country, and accepts the terms and conditions. And in a moment, she will. So behind the scenes here, Trailhead is creating her account, so it may take a moment, and now she's in and ready to start her first module. So the next day, she returns to Trailhead to continue her learning journey, and she goes and clicks Login, and log in with Salesforce again, and enters her username and her password. And she's in. How many of you are familiar with this flow today? Excellent. That's what I like to see. Now, she completes a few trails and is off to a great start and is closing deals in no time. A few months later, she returns to Trailhead to learn about a great new feature that her coworkers are raving about, and she clicks Login again, and this time she clicks Login with Gmail, with Google, because her company also uses Google for work. However, this time, because she's logging in with Google, even though she's using the same work email address that she entered on the original screen and that's used in Salesforce, she's presented with a new sign-up page and creates a duplicate account. So what are some of the challenges that you see with this experience? Anyone? Okay. Right. Duplicate accounts, unsure how to log in. Navigation wasn't very clear. She had to Google to get to Trailhead, right? She had to sign in to Trailhead even though she was already logged into the org. So we looked at ways of improving this experience, and you may be surprised to hear this, but the solution was Salesforce. Salesforce Identity provided all of the capabilities that we needed. It supports social sign-in, as Trailhead does today, for logging in with Facebook or LinkedIn or Salesforce. It also supports new login options, like passwordless login using email or phone number. It's a standards-based federation hub, supporting single sign-on using SAML or OpenID Connect, as well as API-based integrations using OAuth, so it pretty much plugs into most modern applications. This includes other Salesforce products, like other communities, or Heroku-based applications, which is what Trailhead is using today, or Marketing Cloud for sending those great Trailhead newsletters and content updates. It's configurable using declarative no-code options like Community Builder and Lightning Flow, or pro-code options using Visualforce and custom Lightning components. And if you've walked around Dreamforce at all this week, you know how important the Trailhead brand is. Salesforce Identity enables us to deliver that Trailhead brand experience through all the customer touchpoints. And finally, we have analytics built in, so we can monitor the number of signups, the devices that are used, the source where users are signing up from, whether you're coming from Facebook or LinkedIn, as well as monthly active users and many other important metrics using Lightning reports and dashboards or Analytics Cloud. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I'm going to hand it off to Raphael to show you a demo of the new Trailhead login experience using Salesforce Identity. Raphael, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Matt. So imagine we're in this parallel world. And in this parallel world, Sam again gets hired by Acme Corp. And again, she's a sales rep. She never used Salesforce. But in this parallel world, the only difference is that Trailhead is using Salesforce Identity for their sign-up and login experience. So instead of looking up where is Trailhead, her manager tells her, just click the app launcher and you'll see the Trailhead link there. So she clicks the app launcher and there's a Trailhead link. So this is a new feature we built into the ability to connect the product with learning. So this link will actually launch Trailhead, and you can embed that anywhere you want in the product. So you could leverage, so a Salesforce admin can leverage that link and put it anywhere in one of the product pages and actually land even on specific modules or trails if you wanted to. So back to Sam, she follows her manager's advice. She clicks the link. And now, two things I want you to pay attention to. One, she didn't need to go to Google and look up where is Trailhead, right? Two, she didn't need to enter her Salesforce credentials again, if you remember the first demo. And three, we already did a lot of the heavy lifting for Sam. So we pulled her profile picture from her Salesforce user. We pulled her first name, her last name, and we even suggested a vanity URL for her. So there's actually nothing she needs to do here besides clicking next. Of course, no sign-up form is complete without a little extra details about our users. So she fills in our company name, she picks the country, her role, she fills out her title, a relationship to Salesforce, she's a customer, and then the state and agreeing to the terms of use. Once she finished the sign-up process, she's back in Trailhead, and she's already logged in, and she can start her learning. So let's say some time went by, her session ended, she got logged out, she comes back to Trailhead, she wants to learn more, she already bookmarked the website, she goes directly here and clicks login. Now she sees this new login screen, but she never saw that before. So note that there's like 4 login options, and maybe she's not sure what to pick, but she wants to use her email to log in. But one thing, if you remember, I never provided an email address during the sign-up process or created a password in that process. right? So how is it going to work? Let's see it in action. So she clicks email. She fills in her email address, clicks login, and we use the passwordless login flow, the new passwordless login flow from Salesforce Identity. She gets a one-time code in her email, goes back to the login screen, and clicks continue. Another new part of the new brand login and sign-up experience, and this is, again, based on your feedback. A lot of people here got frustrated because for when you potentially move along your career and you may lose your login credentials for that Salesforce org, right? Maybe if Sam now switched company, she lost that access to those Salesforce credentials. She might get locked out of her Trailhead account and lose all the badges, all the achievements, and everything she did, right? That's not great. So what we do here is during the sign-up process, this is part of what we call progressive profiling. We prompt users to connect a personal identity to the account. So either a personal email or one of your personal social providers, so you always have access to your account no matter what stage in your career you are or who you work for. You always have access to your badges, your achievements, and continue the learning. But for demo purposes, we'll skip that for now. And let's say a few more months went by, right? Sam is doing great, but she wants to come back and learn more on Trailhead. So she goes back to Trailhead, clicks login. And what you see here is another part that we did to enhance the experience is what we call the login hint, right? So in the browser, we're able to remember what was the login method Sam used the most recent. So if you remember, we had 4 login options before, and now we're just presenting her with one, which is the one she most recently used, so she doesn't have to think about it. But let's say she used a different browser, or maybe she's on her mobile phone, right? So there's no way for us to remember that, right? So we're back in the login screen, and again, there's 4 different options. And as I said, a few months went by. She said, "Oh, our company uses Google, so I want to use Google." So she clicks Google, and we land on what we call our linking screen, right? So if you remember the previous demo, when we clicked Google, we ended up in the sign-up flow and potentially create a new account. Here, in order to prevent that frustration with duplicate accounts or the confusion that causes that you might have multiple accounts, but there's only one you, what we do here is based on the details in the Google corporate account and the Salesforce account, we're able to match and say, "Oh, Sam, this is the same user. We're going to link this login method." And once we click link them and log in, right, we're back at the exact same user on Trailhead, and we can continue the learning from the same spot. And from now on, Sam can use either Google, Salesforce, or email to continue her journey within Trailhead. So let's wrap up with a few more slides, and then we'll open up to questions. Where's the clicker?
No, to left.
Oh, it's. So if you want to learn a little bit more about identity, we have at 1 p.m. Our own Ian Glazer is going to talk about National Geographic Society's implementation of Salesforce Identity. So that's here in West in room 2020 at 1 p.m. If you'd like to learn a little bit more with some external resources, we have the External Identity Implementation Guide. So external identity, that's what we're using for Trailhead as well. Identity for customers, Trail on Trailhead, another way to learn a little bit about how we implemented things here. There's the Salesforce Identity Chatter group on Trailblazer Community. So if you want to come and ask questions, there'll be people answering your questions there. And then if you want to see some code samples around how to implement Salesforce Identity, we have a GitHub, github.com/Salesforce Identity. And last, we'd love your feedback. I'm personally going to be at the identity booth right after this session at 10. So between 10 and 12:30, I'll be right here in the developer forest. We're also going to stick around if you didn't get a chance to ask your questions. But with about like 3 minutes left, anybody? Yeah, go ahead. So this is still not available today. This is something that's going to be launched soon, probably by the end of the year. But once we're launched, yes, we'll import all the Trailhead information, all the Trailhead users, so information about your account, and we'll able to link the two accounts you have, the personal and work account you have. Yeah, it's a good question. Anybody else? Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear. How does it work with single sign-on between the product and... So the way we do is we have an SSO relay page, right, that basically will give the Salesforce admin to enter a few parameters, right? And based on those parameters, we'll be able to launch Trailhead on with a specific domain. So your my domain, your Salesforce my domain. And then you can also designate a path, like I want to land on this module or this trail. So we'll give you some parameters and an SSO relay page URL, and you can embed that anywhere you want. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.